This is my garden, and I'm in the process of fixing the fence, which is falling over. And I have an area that I want to build a little cottage here, but I need to move the fence. So I'm going to move the fence in to where these rocks are. And then I can build a tiny little cottage here with hopefully everything you need for a comfortable stay. At least that's the idea. We'll see what actually happens. Sometimes plans don't go the way you plan them. I have some everbearing strawberries, and it's October, so there's not much happening here. This was a potato bed, but now it's weeds. And there might be a few peppers left in here. These are Anaheim peppers, which are insanely spicy. Have a bunch of ferns trying to take over, of course. Strawberries. These are June-bearing strawberries. And what's left of my tomatoes, which are kind of rotten at this point. I was very busy and did not get as much gardening done this year as I would have liked. I still have carrots here that I haven't picked. Some did better than others because I failed to thin them. I was working too much this year. This was a corn bed, but I am going to dig all the dirt out and use it to build a bigger cabin here. So that will not be part of the garden. The fence will join up here and not stick out this little bit like it does right now. Down there is the raspberry patch and another corn patch that I did. And I did garlic over there, and then over here we had beans and some other stuff. Right now it's just massively overgrown because I was so busy this year. And now it's fall and I'm not working. I'm trying to catch up on the cleanup. This is my Santa Rosa plum tree, which finally made a lot of plums this year, or at least a few. And then this is the other way out of the garden. We have another plum tree here, which is supposed to be a nice yellow plum. It has not made fruit yet. It's only 2 years old. That I need to burn out. This is the rest of my cleared yard. I don't know exactly how much I cleared. I don't know, maybe a half an acre, maybe 3/4 of an acre at the most. And then I have a bunch of forest behind me. It's 2.5 acres altogether. This is the road up to my septic field that I just got done. So I'll do a little tour. First, I'll go down to the house. This is the septic road. And down here is a little flat spot that we made. I was originally going to have a septic tank there, but then that was too close to my neighbor, so we had to put it closer to my house. So it's right over there. And I'm probably standing on the pipes right here where it goes up the hill to the field. So my house is downhill from my septic field, which is annoying, but it worked in the end. This is where the pump tank is to pump it up to the field. This is the septic tank and the alarm. And then that's the plug for my generator panel. Goes to the generator. And then under the house is a total mess. But I have some wood there. There's the plumbing going into the ground. And then this is a level spot that I'm setting up to, well, the idea was to build a greenhouse here and over there a woodshed and generator shed. I'm not sure, maybe I'll switch that around. This area was going towards the road, and it used to only go to right about here where these rocks are, but I've been dumping all my bushes over there for 4 or 5 years now. And so now it's up this high, and I'm going to keep adding all my dirt that I excavate over there. I'm going to throw a bunch of rocks in here to bring this dip up, and this will be all level ground, level with there. And then I'll be able to put another greenhouse there. This is my hydro pole. I connected to the grid because I wanted power. Maybe one day I'll go off. I have lots of sun here, but very expensive to get set up initially, so that was not an option at the time. This is my mulberry tree. I made a lot of mulberries last year. Very tasty, except for the birds ate them all. And then this is some blackberries taking over this area. This is just a little outdoor fire area from an old abandoned wood stove. A little kid bench, which is nice and comfy for me since I'm so tiny. And the door that goes nowhere. So planning to one day build an entry room here. It will be a little room, but it will really add to the house, which is very tiny. So that'll have a little, I don't know, maybe 8 feet wide room. This is the greenhouse frame I made, which I uncovered so it doesn't blow apart in the wind, but I will use it again in the future. This is the rock pit that I dug before we got our septic in, so we used to have our gray water go in here. Now Mint is taking it over, and that is a pit of rocks now. And some fence posts that have trailing dewberries or little miniature blackberries, whatever people call them, very different things. They're very tasty. I need to move those fence posts, use them to move my fence in the garden. Rosemary bush, driveway to the road, my car, my house. This was the added boot room I had enclosed my porch, and don't have it sided yet, but I did get some trim put around the door so the hinges stop falling out. That's nice. And I can do a house tour another time, maybe when I have it clean. There's the house, very small, 12 by 32. Upstairs has the sloping roof. So the south side of the house has 7.5 foot high walls. Back side is 4.5 feet. So you can just stand up upstairs. But we have the beds against the low walls. And there's the garden, which we just walked in a circle to. A pile of seaweed that I paid for and didn't move. That was a huge failure. It's still good seaweed. I just need to dig it up and move it and use it. Usually I collect my own seaweed in buckets and bags, and this year I paid for a truckload, and I was just very busy, very tired, so I never moved it up to the hill. Everything is uphill, so no matter what I'm doing, I have to move it up a hill. So up here is the old outhouse, which I will be getting rid of one day since no one uses it anymore. I might relocate it to an empty hole, or I might turn it into a shower building, or I might sell it or gift it to somebody. I don't know. This is a fire pit that I started working on burning here, because this is an area. I've got the hose up here so I can make sure it doesn't spread. And I'm just clearing this area to hopefully one day build my dream home, which would be a little bigger than the tiny thing I live in right now. So up here, we have this area, which I'm pretty sure I could fit something like 20 by 40 in here. Sadly, would have to take out a few of these cedar trees, but not touching anything back there. That's about 2 acres of forest that is very nice to walk in. And once you get through the trees, it goes to a bluff, which I could walk to in a minute. So this is the septic road that we had put in. It goes over next door where my mom lives. And then this is towards, well, my memory is full on my phone, so I have to go delete a bunch of stuff at some point here and maybe continue this tour another day. For now, I just erased a couple of things. So here's my septic field. And right now this is rated for 3 bedrooms. My place is 2 bedrooms. So I am going to hopefully be able to connect my garden cottage into my current septic. And then when I build my future home, I would have to put in a new thing, like septic tank, septic field, somewhere back here where the septic area is, which is a bunch of bushes right now, but I could probably figure at putting that in the future when it comes to it. So for now, this is that. We now have a flush toilet. It's very exciting. And I am looking at all kinds of projects here. I am sometimes contemplating selling, relocating. The school situation for my kids here is not ideal, so I'll just... I thought I would turn the camera around to see if I can figure out I don't have my tripod. So this is my place. I'll do a tour of the forest in the future and maybe do another video talking about my plans, various things here. I have a lot of ideas of what I could do, how I could set up a way to make income off my property. In the meantime, I hope I can keep it. I have a kid in high school, a kid in kindergarten, and the school here ends in grade 9. So trying to figure out how to get them graduated without having to sell and leave, because this is a place that I've, developed from day one. Well, other than the developers who put the well in, which was very nice of them. Otherwise, it's been, a lot of work turning it from a forest into a home. And I hope to set up even more here. I want to build a couple of rental cottages, maybe be able to do retreats for artists, maybe some women's retreats for women to come and connect with each other and see what they, have a nice relaxing retreat in nature. Yeah, so I guess I'll turn this off now before my camera shuts off again.